been diving for the last several years and probably have logged more than 75 dives in the last 10 years or so. Anybody else in here scuba diving? No? Well, SCUBA is actually an acronym. SCUBA stands for Self-Contained Underwater Breathing Apparatus. This equipment here is part of a SCUBA system, and this is what I call my regulator. And there's multiple parts to it. This part here connects to an air tank that sits about 3 feet tall. Pretty heavy, that's why I didn't bring it tonight. This hose here goes to a vest that I wear when I scuba dive, and it allows me to pump air into the vest that makes me buoyant or less buoyant. I can go up or down in water based off how much air I put in my vest. I have all my gauges here so I can tell how deep I am, how much air I have left in my tank. And then this is my main breathing apparatus. Stick this in my mouth. And for those troubled times when somebody gets out of air, this is a second breathing apparatus so that they can share my air. Okay? So I got interested in scuba diving many years ago. I was on a vacation with a friend of mine who happens to own a sailboat in the Caribbean, which is kind of nice to have friends like that. And I've been on multiple vacations with him. But we would often snorkel over the reefs, which is great. And I still love snorkeling today, but I always wanted to see something way down there. Could never see everything that I wanted to see. I wanted to get closer, see what just swam under that ledge. So after a couple of these trips and a bit of frustration, I actually got scuba lessons from my wife at Christmas one year. I did my training at Rick's Dive and Travel Center in North Little Rock. Some of you may have heard of that. Rick's is probably one of the best dive centers in the United States. Many times been ranked in the top 10, which is pretty impressive considering Arkansas is a landlocked state. Now, the training itself is pretty simple. It's not too hard. You can do it over a weekend, or you can do it once a night for a few weeks. It involves classroom work. It involves some pool time where you get to work with the equipment, so you become more comfortable with the equipment. And then there's what they call the checkout dives, open water checkout dives. Now, open water is not the pool. Open water is a larger, big body of water. And that body of water can be a lake or an ocean. And I did mine in the Caribbean. Again, I had a friend in the Caribbean. And we had to do many things to demonstrate our skill levels with the scuba equipment. We had to take our mask off underwater, had to put it back on. Of course, it was filled with water at that point. We had to clear the mask. We had to take this regulator out of our mouth, throw it behind us as if somebody kicked it out of our mouth. Had to do a sweep recovery of it, put it back in our mouth. We had to demonstrate that we weren't going to bob up and down 10 feet, that we had some control over our buoyancy, and many other things. And I personally have an advanced diver certification, which means I've done certification beyond open water diving. Now, some people are hesitant about scuba diving. They think, well, I'm going to be claustrophobic underwater. But if you think of, let's say I'm the center point of this large sphere, and tonight I'm standing on the floor here, and I can see over here, over there, behind me, but I can't see anything below me. I don't have any idea what's under the floor. But underwater, when you're 30 or 40 feet below the surface, I can see down there, I can see over here, I can see back behind me down there, I can see up to the side. You get the whole 360-degree view of the sphere. So it's anything but claustrophobic for me. Then there are some people that are scared of the creatures that are in the ocean. Your sharks and your stingrays. Well, I thought I might be scared of those sharks too. I was a little hesitant about how it would react the first time I encountered a man-eating shark. And then one day, finally, I did encounter the shark. And it was anything but scary. It was the most exhilarating thing I've ever experienced. It swam probably 10 feet away from me. It just gracefully glided by me. It was the most majestic thing I've ever seen. And that's one of the reasons that I really like scuba diving. There's so many encounters like that. it's a different world under there. There are beautiful colors, the coral, the sea fans, the sponges, fish, all those things are exciting to watch. Also have had many opportunities to dive with things like stingrays, with dolphins. I've been nose to nose with a dolphin in the wild. It's pretty cool. I reached out and captured one of those. I've swam with sea turtles, green moray eels, schools of tuna, and I've dived on shipwrecks. I have been night diving, which is pretty neat. It's a totally different environment at night. And then I've also caught my lunch for diving for lobster. So, pretty neat experience. So how many of you would like to scuba dive? Well, see me afterwards and we can talk about it.